Hi, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, yesterday's video, I talked about grief and the things that we can do in healing through grief, all spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's so important that we take care of ourselves during that time. And it is part of the healing process. We all have grief, and so it's important. And I'm going to share a couple links in with this video. One is the link to my book, You Are Made to Heal Spiritually, Emotionally, Mentally, and Physically. And I shared my experience of grief. And in fact, I didn't have that chapter in my book when I finished my book, or so I thought I finished my book. And then I had an experience that just brought us to our knees. And it was just a hard experience for our family and the grief. I can't, after dealing with that grief, I just told my husband, I'm not done writing my book. I'm like, this is part of healing and I have to have a chapter on grief. And I was grateful for that humbling, beautiful, hard experience so that I could include that and have my book be finished. So there's that link that's going to be in the comments below. And also, I'm going to share a link that really it was a Facebook post that I saw, but it was Grocery Grief. It was called Grocery Grief. And it was just so good. Such a good article. I recommend everybody to read it because we all want to know how we can help people in their grief. And sometimes we just don't know how to help them. And there's in this emotional resilience manual, there's ways, they have a section of ways to offer help during grief. And then they have ways that aren't so helpful and more helpful ways, things that would be more helpful. And I kind of want to go over those because that's important. Now, remember, this manual is in, you can go get this. I would highly recommend it to everyone. It is called Emotional Resilience, and you can find it on the website, thechurchofjesuschrist.org. You can find that, and it is so helpful for anybody and everybody. I highly suggest it for teens 14 on up to help you through your emotions and healing on your healing journey. So they say the less helpful things. I'm going to kind of go over less helpful things, saying things like, I know exactly how you feel, and then bringing up your story to compare. That's not so helpful for somebody. People don't care. They're kind of focused in what they're going through and what's going on with their lives. They don't want to hear you one-upping them or, saying you understand because or telling about your experience. They don't want to hear it. That's not very helpful. And there's another one that's not helpful. Even if we have been through something very similar, it's always to better ask questions and listen. Oh, so it's always better to ask questions and listen rather than, oh, I know exactly how you feel. I totally can relate because this and this and this happened. That's not helpful for them. But asking questions like, how are you doing today? Like, how can I help you? How has this affected you? Asking questions to get them think, hey, when's the last time you got out to walk? Let's go for a walk. Hey, can I bring you some dinner? That kind of stuff. So another thing that's not very helpful is just have faith. Everything will work out. Well, guess what? Of course we should have faith, and things always do, but that doesn't change the fact whether something's painful or not. It doesn't take the pain away from them. And it's important to be present rather than brushing them off with, have faith, everything will work out. Good to see you. Bye. That's just the watered down version of, moving through something fast. So, at least there's another thing saying that, at least you blank, at least you ... And, when we start a sentence with at least, we minimize what the person has been through. We take that and we really shrink down what they're going through as not as a big a deal. And when we're through it, when we're going through our hard stuff, it is a big deal. It's just a big deal to all of us, right? So when we say at least, or, oh, it could be worse, we're just like minimizing what they're going through, and that's not a good idea. So God has a plan. That's another thing that's not very helpful, saying God has a plan. This can sound like we're trying to quickly solve the problem instead of really listening and loving them through their hard. So they're in a better place is not very helpful either. Like, oh, your loved one is in a better place. And Um, saying this doesn't make the person miss his or her loved one any less. So going, oh, they're in a better place. It doesn't still, that doesn't take the edge off the pain. And so that's not very helpful. But it talks about things that are more helpful, things that we can say rather than those things we can say. I don't know what to say right now, but I'm so glad you told me, like, gosh, that, thank you for trusting me with that information. Like, my heart goes out to you. Um, tell me about what you're feeling right now. Like, so it's bringing their emotions to the surface. Like, how are you feeling right now? Like, tell me what you're doing to get you through. And saying things like, I care about you. I want to know. I want you to share. I want to be here for you. And that's the next one is, I am here for you. I'm here for you anytime. Call me. Another one is validating their feelings, because they're gonna feel down in the ruts, right? Down in the trenches, and it is a huge deal, and it's okay to validate them. It's okay to tell them, look, how you're feeling. It's normal. It's perfectly okay and normal. This is part of the process. If you're talking to them and they sound like they're full of anger, it's okay. It's okay to be angry. I hear you. I feel you, and I'm here to help you through that. And just know that it's okay to have those emotions. It's okay to go through all the 5 grieving steps. And like I said yesterday, the 5 grieving steps are that we all go through when we're in grief. It's denial, anger, and then the bargaining, and then the sadness, and then the acceptance. And we're all on our different timeline. Things happen differently for us. But so everybody has different needs, and even if you say all the right things, the person may still be upset, may not be consolable or able to help. But being hurt and upset is part of just being sad or depressed, and that's just part of the process. Our most important job for someone that is grieving is just to show up, to be there, and without any judgment, but just all with understanding, love, and kindness. So this grocery grief article, I should have read it right before I posted this video, but I didn't. It was a couple months prior, maybe-ish, about that. And I posted it going, oh my goodness, they are so spot on. Because when we're going through grief of any part of our own, we're just so numb. We're numb to how we feel. We're numb to things around us. And so when someone comes up to us and says, hey, I know you're really doing, I know you're really struggling right now. What can I do for you? So I'm going to add that to the less helpful. What can I do for you? Isn't very helpful for someone that's in grief, because they don't know. They are so numb to their emotions, they don't know. It's all they can do to maybe get out of bed. It's all they can do to show up to whatever they've got going on. And so sometimes it's like actions. It takes a lot of action on our part. Like when we know someone is grieving and going through the process, it takes us driving to their house, knocking on the door and saying, come on, let's go to breakfast. I'm going to treat you to breakfast. Or, hey, come on, I scheduled a spa treatment, a self-care treatment, right? Now I love self-care. I am all about self-care. I am a Foot Zone practitioner, and that's right up there in the top 10 self-care things. So maybe it's getting a Foot Zone. Maybe it's getting a massage. Maybe it's getting, maybe it's going to a float spa. It's just pampering and a relaxation atmosphere to get them to relax. And anyway, it talked about how there's a story shared that their friend from hours away said, where are you going to be at in 4 hours from now? And she just said, I'll be home. Or they just said, will you be home in 4 hours time? And she's like, yeah, I'll be home. And what they did was they ordered groceries online and had it sent to her address, her home. And when she opened the door, that person physically couldn't be there because they were hours and hours away, right? But they were able to get these groceries, and they were like comfort foods, right? Like who wants to take time to make dinner sometimes? And so it had like ice cream for treats and just those foods that you just turn to, like, oh, And then they had some meal ideas and some things in there for freezer meals for them to just put in the oven and to eat. And those mean the world, because people don't know what they need. And then when they get it, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I needed that. I needed that so much. So it's so important. That's how we can help others in their grief. Helping others in our grief goes a long way. It is what the Savior did, right? He showed compassion. He had such, and has, I said had because I'm thinking of his life on earth, but he still has this love and compassion for everybody. And he is still working around the clock, the Savior and God, making sure everybody is taken care of, right? And he does it through angels on earth, and our, heavenly angels, because I know we have guardian angels too. And so whatever we're searching, they will put in our path through other human beings. And we are those angels on earth if we can help other people by just showing up. And maybe you're like, oh, that's good and all, but I just don't have the finances. It's all I can do to feed my own family and pay my bills and take care of my stuff financially. Say you're in that predicament. Maybe you are, because let's just be honest, the last several years has been hard. It has been hard financially for a lot of families across the country. And so maybe that's the case. Maybe you're just like, I couldn't do that. If someone needed groceries, I couldn't do that. So what is it you can do? Even dropping a letter in the mail if you're hours and hours away, or just maybe you don't do snail mail, but you do like Facebook or social media and reach out and connect with that person and just tell them hello and that you are thinking of them. And that's one quick, easy way. But another way is knocking on their door saying, you know what? Let's get out. Let's go for a walk. Or, hey, come shopping with me. I need your help. I would love to have, I'm shopping for this and this, and I would love for you to help me. You're so great in this area. Get them involved. Get them involved and help them not forget about their grief, but help them just put their focus somewhere else for just a little bit. Maybe it's whatever it is, whatever you feel like you can do to help, but get creative. It doesn't have to be a ton of money, and it can be super impactful how we help others in their healing journey. So, like I said, I just want you to remember, and you think back on all your times of grief. When people ask, what can I do for you? You're just, oh, nothing. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need anything. I'm good. But you actually do. You need stuff, but it's not that they're being prideful and they don't want help from other people. It's just they can't vocalize that. They can't voice what they need because they're so stuck and so focused on the pain. They don't know. They truly don't know how you can help them. So just you taking the bull by the horns and just getting in there and doing whatever to help them in your way. Help them in your way. Where are you good? Where do your talents lie? Maybe you love doing crafts and creating things. And so you're like, hey, I just bought a bunch of stuff. Come hang out. Let's have a girls' night out. Or, if it's a girlfriend, or, hey, maybe it's a couple that's grieving, and invite them over for game night. Just, hey, let's get together and have game night, or whatever. Just that connection is huge. And I know there's a lot of people that want to be left alone in their grief, and yes, there are times where they want that, but the connection is huge too, that they need to feel that through their griefs to help them pull through. So anyway, that's just my ideas, and God bless. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Share it with others. It is my mission and my purpose to help others on their healing journey. We are made to heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. God and Christ want us to be happy. They want us to share our light. And that's how we do it, by taking our journey and healing ourselves, not worrying about changing our spouse, changing our kids, changing other people around us, a coworker or two or whatever. We're not here to change others. It's not our job. Our job is to love. And love is the answer to all problems, all questions, all heartache. And so peace and go in love. And until next time, we'll see you later. God bless.